Hello loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have your natal Saturn in Aquarius. So what is Saturn in the birth chart? Saturn represents difficulties, life challenges, the planet of karma, but when we fully dedicate our life to overcoming these challenges and we are creating good karma in our lives through allowing Saturn's lessons to be learned within our being, it actually ends up being an area where we're very gifted, we're dedicated, we're serious, and yeah, we're really strong in that energy. So Saturn in Aquarius is a really strong placement as well because it's said to be its traditional rulership before it switched to Uranus. So with this placement, there's a very scientific mind, which manifesting on the negative tendency could be very unemotional, very cold and aloof, and very difficult in relationships because the person is just too airy or too scientific or too disconnected from warmth and the emotional body and true feeling and connectedness. But that's only a very negative manifestation that would be shown by difficult aspects. Usually with this placement, there is this sense of responsibility, this sense of needing closeness with friends and associates and needing to be a part of a group, but a feeling of an inability on how to do that, how to be a person that is connected with other people. So these people can feel like they're really an oddball. They're really kind of out there and they have a hard time fitting in. And actually, this is true that these people are very unique and different in their own way. And there's really no one like them. They're quite Uranian in a sense because we have Saturn coming through Uranus's sign. So I actually have a few people that I know with this placement. My father, my dad, my son, who I'm still learning on the manifestations of this because he'll be 3 in a couple weeks. So I'm still, observing him. And then I have a very good friend who has this placement. And I've known many others too because it's just the age group right before me. So I have Saturn and Pisces. So I have known a lot of Saturn and Aquarius people because they're just born a couple years before me. So with this placement too, yeah, there's definitely this difficulty around friends and acquaintances. So there can be difficulties through friendships, through feeling betrayed by the friend group or feeling like an outcast. Like there's this perpetual feeling that, they're just randomly plopped on this planet and it's just impossible for them to have what they so desire, which is like this group of friends and people that is like a home to them. And what they don't realize is that they're seeking a spiritual quality of connection with life that does not come from the external. It's actually an internal feeling. And yet, because they are so disconnected or Saturnian in a way, like this is one of their greatest life challenges, they're so disconnected from their like heart warmth and that feeling of bliss and connectedness with life. And it's actually an internal thing because they feel like they're just this outsider, right? But once they realize that that's actually an internal fix, okay, they can fix this from within and then they can actually attract to them the right friend group, the right people that are truly going to see them and love them in their uniqueness, and that they can also fit into this group and be a part of it. But there can be many different groups in this person's life that they fit in with. Like I'm thinking of the people that I know with this. It's like they have this tendency to be a part of a group for a while. And it's like the best thing ever. They're obsessed with it. It's this, amazing connected group of friends. And then for some reason or some betrayal, they drop that group completely, and they feel like they're outcasted, they're an outsider, and then they find another, and then they're just like kind of jumping from place to place, trying to find their feeling of home and connection with the group, okay? And without realizing that this is an internal thing, this is an internal fix, right? It's what they're seeking is not really going to come from the external. And also, there's a great spiritual potential with this placement, because they have this ability to be so detached and so able to see the truth in situations. Like, their awareness is like piercing, okay? And they can truly see situations from a neutral place without emotionality that can cloud judgment, right? So when we're talking other, maybe Saturn and water placements, the judgment is going to be different. But with Saturn and Aquarius, they have this ability to truly see situations from a neutral place. So the clarity, and that's where this level of scientific thought comes from, this can allow them to be great researchers, great, like they're able to study a subject too and go right to the end with it and be able to master it. So there is this great ability for intellectual thought, for I'm thinking of like, longer term studies where you have to study something for such a long time, like maybe even astrology, right? Astrology would be a great manifestation of this energy, being a professional astrologer, because it's that ability to study this forever. I mean, think of how much studying. I've been studying astrology since 2010, and I feel like I only know a tip of the iceberg. Like, that is how vast it is. So these kind of subjects are really good for the Saturn and Aquarius person. So, university and science, because they have this sort of scientific mind, right? Or spiritual study as well, because there is this sense that they truly want to do what's right for humanity. There is this sense that they want to help, they want to serve. That's a really strong quality with this placement, is that they do truly want what is best for the whole, and they can be very devoted to that ideal, because this is a fixed sign. So they can be the humanitarian who is truly devoted to the mission of serving humanity. That's really the highest potential of this placement. And then the lower potential of this placement would be the holier than thou person who just thinks that they have all the answers and they are this brilliant scientific mind, and they don't really listen to other people at all, because they just feel like they know everything. And actually, they, like, the way that I'm even speaking, it's not really about feeling. They don't feel per se. It's like they just think they know they know all, and they don't really like to listen to other people's advice. And yet, so badly, they want to fit in with people. They want to be a part of the group, but they're so independent and erratic, and they actually, it's so interesting, because there's kind of like a push-pull. They so desire to be alone, and they so desire to be this genius, like I'm thinking like mad scientist genius that they are. And it can manifest in different ways. It doesn't actually mean that they have to be focused on science or studies or anything like that, because there's people that are not going to be intellectually focused that have this placement, but they want to be focused on whatever their own independence, and yet they so badly want to fit into a group. So there's kind of like a social awkwardness and a shyness as well, because like they have this great need for that group connection and to be a part of something, but yet they also have this great need for independence, and they can kind of waver in between both. And that's why we can see the difficulties in friendship, because being a friend means being that ear for someone, and being connected with your heart and love, yet these people want to be totally alone all the time and not bothered, and not, they don't want friends that are needy, yet they need a friend. So there's a difficulty with this placement that comes out kind of like that. With my son, I mean, he's so young, but when he had his shy phase, it kind of, he would look at, like, and actually he still does this too sometimes. like he would watch the other kids playing at the park and he would just like stare at them and just watch the other people playing and yet not join them. And I feel like this is a reflection of how the Saturn and Aquarius person feels, is that they so badly want to be a part of the group, of the crowd, and like be that person, but yet their shyness or their feeling like they don't really fit in and they don't belong, or there's just something weird and different about them. And they're right about that. They are this very unique individual that is totally not bound by whatever society is doing. And that's perfect. That's who they're meant to be. They're meant to be that Uranian person. But yeah, it can really hold them back from really feeling involved and connected to the group. And yeah, I just think of that's the image for Saturn and Aquarius that I feel like it is so strong, is that they're like on the outside looking in, they're watching everybody else have fun, and they're like, oh, I wish I could do that. And yet when someone puts their hand out and says, come here, Saturn and Aquarius, come be a part of the group, they're like, no thanks. It's okay, I'm good. I'd rather just be alone. No, I don't want to. But then yet they're watching and they're like, oh. Anyways, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to say about this one. I will probably have more to come on this one as I observe my son's behavior. I think he has it doubly. I think he literally has Saturn and Aquarius in the 11th house. So I'll keep you all posted on what I learn about it. Anything else that I want to say on this placement? Yeah, I think it's a really great placement for geniuses, for people that really study something and go deep with it. And one of my really good friends is a professional astrologer with this, and she just never stopped studying. I mean, like me as well, and I have Aquarius in the 11th as well. Not Saturn, though. I have Saturn and Pisces. So there's a great potential with this placement to be like this profound thinker, and also to use this knowledge for the good of all, like the water bearer. It's like they're able to study something from such a neutral place, which a lot of people are not capable of because they're so emotional that they only see everything in terms of their own nose and how it is to them. Well, with this placement, there is that ability to like disconnect and actually see a situation as it is, more with other people and humanity rather than their own personal life, though. But there is that potential to disconnect from the emotional body and be coming from the higher mind and be able to really truly see things from a neutral place and come up with like profound wisdom that is truly healing to all in whatever way that looks like. So this is a great placement for service to humanity. So it does have that very spiritual quality. I think that it would show a very evolved soul coming in with this placement, and yet they do have their struggle of wanting to fit into a group yet wanting to be totally alone, and there's kind of like this back and forth between that, and there could be struggles and pain in the friendships as well. But yet when you do have this person in your life and they are a devoted friend to you, or they're devoted to an ideal, they're very, very loyal to this. And while they may be awkward in a friendship, they will truly give their all, and they will be very supportive friends who can really help you a lot and give you a lot of really good advice and be able to see your life maybe clearer than you can see it. So yeah, I really love this placement. I think there's great potential, and yeah, I might even make more videos on it as I learn more, because I'm always learning. Yeah, that's what I'll say about that. I do offer one-on-one sessions. You can check out my links below. I offer 2 types of sessions. One is a soul purpose natal chart reading, and the other is a karmic or soulmate relationship synastry reading. So I have my links below. Thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have this placement, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.